Yeah. Yo. It's time for Danny Tree Frog Reviews. Hello everyone, welcome to Danny Tree Frog Reviews. You know those games that you had no clue existed until nearly 20 years later when you randomly see a picture of it? Well, that was my case with Tiny Tank, a game released by the company who would a few years later bring us the RoboCop game. Surely we're in good hands. Our feature presentation. You know, I'm starting to think that maybe these static title screens aren't as uncommon as we once thought. Screw this loading screen. Don't need to drag this out any further. Main menu's a bit unnecessary the way it is, but it has its charm. Of course, I'm saying that right as the disc is messing up and having trouble loading.
Rehearsal for Get Out the Vote promo. Cue the theme song. Tinky Tinky Clinky Clanky, new from Centrex Tiny Tank, America's lovable...
Wait. Is that my theme song?
Well, it hasn't been finalized yet.
Wanky, wanky, tanky, tanky, what the is that?
Oh, it's one of those T-rated games. They have the cutesy little death machine thing with a violent game and has to censor out some words they say. I don't know who would do that. That seems a bit unfucking necessary.
You're being difficult.
You're being an...
It's not creepy. It's cute. It's cute.
A cute killing machine? That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. I got an 80mm cannon for a nose. Hey kids, is this cute? Oops.
Okay, we'll wrap for the day, get another camera, try again tomorrow.
Alright, enough of the cutscene and the story that'll probably make more sense if I let it show, but I'm probably not going to. Let's get into the meat and potatoes of this game. Our starting level is Dead River Canyon. Okay, I assume we gotta fight this guy and his robots. Seems like it's gonna be a fun time. Oh, and as you can well imagine, this has tank controls. Kind of. It's really only about 30% tank controls, and the rest are just fast-paced shooter controls. Considering this is a fast-paced shooter, you need a faster tank, and that's what Tiny Tank is. You can also pick up some enemy weapons to help fight against them, as you do in most of these types of shooters.
Press metal. Let's go!
Yeah, this is also one of those games where the character talks a lot, and, you know, not really useful information, just babbles on. People give a lot of crap to Gex for talking too much in his games, but at least he has a lot to say. I can kind of understand with Gex 3 because he does talk a lot more in that game, but again, he has a lot to say. When it comes to Tiny Tank, he talks about as frequently as Gex in Gex 3, with what feels like about 3 to 5 lines of dialogue. Okay, guess because it was the first boss, but that seemed a little too easy.
Here you go, cowboy. Hang up your spurs. Press metal.
TT, the level's over. You can probably, you know, be a little more quiet now. Oh wait, I had to get back to my rocket. Now the level's over.
Don't let go.
Throughout the game, you'll keep seeing the flashbacks to 100 years before the events of the game. Now, I never beat it, so I don't really know how it ends, but I can see it going one of two ways. Either one, this will eventually lead up to what happens in the events of the game in the future, or two, this is just for comic relief. I do hope it's the former. In terms of the difficulty, at least from when I played, it was fine. It felt a little fair, because it just got gradually harder with each level, and it felt natural. It didn't spike up in difficulty like made the next level extremely hard, then the next level is a little easier, and then the next level is hard again, you know, that kind of stuff. It felt fair. In terms of level design, it's okay. I mean, this place was a little mazy, so it got a little confusing for me. There is a map, but I don't know, it didn't always work for me. Now, in terms of the gameplay, does it get repetitive? Well, let me explain. To me, there are 3 types of repetitive games. There's the fun kind where you don't even notice it being repetitive because you're having too much fun with it. There's the medium kind where it's kind of fun, but you do start to notice it getting repetitive, so you might put it down for a little while and then pick it back up. And then there's the unpaid job kind where it's just a chore throughout and you're not having any fun or getting engaged. To me, Tiny Tank falls under the medium kind because it was fun for a little while, but then the repetitiveness started bleeding through for me. So by level 4, I was a bit bored with it. I mean, honestly, if you think you can get through the whole thing, apparently it is on the short side, clocking in at around 2.5 to 3 hours, so it's not like a 6-hour just shooting game. But for me overall, it's okay. The cutscenes are funny, Tiny Tank is sometimes funny, and the gameplay overall is alright. Well, that's all I've got to say about Tiny Tank. Thanks for watching, everyone. Hit the like button if you like this video, subscribe if you want to see more, and remember, this is Danny Tree Frog with Danny Tree Frog Reviews. Hey Danny, happy Independence Day by the way. Wait, it's the 4th of July? Man, these days are blending together considering all we're seeing is just snow. Now, how is anyone going to understand that reference if this is the first episode they've seen? I don't know, Charles. I guess they're going to react the same way as if they've seen any of these videos without seeing any of the story progressing videos. Yeah, I guess you see your point.